Hey guys, welcome to another Ask Whisper. So without further ado, let's get started. First off is the shoutouts, of course, and I only have one, and it's for Gibberish490. She is one of my good friends, both YouTube and real life, so she only has, I think, 2 videos up right now. So go check her out and tell her Whisper sent you. Now, on to the questions. First question comes from Gibberish490 herself, and she asks, what's your favorite book series? And currently at the moment it's this one. It's called The Last Apprentice by Joseph Delaney, and this one is the second book in the series. The first one is The Last Apprentice, Revenge of the Witch. And it's about this guy named Tom Ward, who looks like that, and he becomes the spook's apprentice. The spook is somebody who goes around the county and basically wards off evil. I wouldn't say they have magic powers, but they have this aura to them, where they can only, I think it's the seventh son, it's the 7th son of a 7th son. That's what gives them their power, I guess you would call it. And I haven't even finished this, as you can tell. In fact, I just started a chapter, so why not read you this page? It was quite definitely the worst nightmare I've ever had, and in a job like mine I had a lot. I was lost in trying to find my way home. I should have been able to manage it easily enough because everything was bathed in a light that was with a full moon. But every time I turned a corner, though, I seemed to recognize some landmark. I was soon proved wrong. At last I came to the top of Hangman's Hill and saw our farm below. As I walked down the hill, I began to feel very uneasy. Even though it was nighttime, everything was too still and too quiet, and nothing was moving below. The fences were in a poor state of repair, something that Dad and Jack would never allow to happen, and the barn door was hanging half off their hinges. The house was deserted, some of the windows were broken, and there were slates missing from the roof. I struggled to open the back door, and when it yielded with the usual jerk, I stepped into the kitchen that looked as though it hadn't been lived in for years. There was dust everywhere, and cobwebs hung from the ceiling. Mom's rocking chair was right at the center of the room, and on it was a piece of folded paper, which I picked up and carried outside to read by the light of the moon. Your dad's, Jack's, Ellie's, and Mary's graves are up on Hangman's Hill. You'll find your mother in the barn. My heart ached to bursting point. I ran into the yard, then I halted outside the barn, listening carefully. Everything was silent. There wasn't even a breath of wind. I stepped nervously into the gloom, hardly knowing what to expect. Would there be a grave there? Mom's grave? There was a hole in the roof almost directly above, within a shaft of moonlight. I could see Mom's head, she was looking straight at me. Her body was in darkness, but from the position of her head, she seemed to be kneeling on the ground. Why would she do that? And why did she look so unhappy? Wasn't she pleased to see me? Suddenly Mom let out a scream of anxious. "Don't look at me, Tom! Don't look at me! Turn away now!" She cried as if in torment. The moment I looked away, Mom rose up from the floor, and out of the corner of my eye, I glimpsed something that turned my bone to jelly. From the neck down, Mom was different. I saw wings and scales and a glade of sharp claws, that she flew straight up into the air and smashed her way out of the barn roof, taking half of it with her. I looked up, shielding my face from the pieces of wood and debris that were falling toward me, and saw Mom, a black silhouette against the dusk of full moon, as she flew upward from the wreckage of the barn roof. "No! No!" I shouted. "This isn't true! This isn't happening!" In reply, a voice spoke in my head. It was the low hiss of the Bane. "The moon shows the truth of things, boy. You know that already. All you have seen is true, and your will to pass. All it takes is time." The Last Apprentice by Joseph Delaney. My next question comes from Darkness Knight 51, and he asks, do I want a 3DS? And if so, what games do I want? I don't want a 3DS, because my stepbrother, some of you might know him, his YouTube channel is youtube.com/mbor29, and he has one, and I tried playing it, and it hurts my eyes. And I know about the Switch, where you can turn it from 2D to 3D, and vice versa. But what's the point? It's like having a regular DS. So I'd rather take a regular than a 3DS. My last question comes from Becca Q, and she asks, would I rather be attacked by a big bear or a swarm of bees? I think I'd choose the bees, because, well, bees are easy to get rid of. All you have to do is swat them away, and even if they sting you, they die. I'm in Boy Scouts, so even if I do get stinged, I'll know how to treat it. And the big bear, well, I've never seen a bear in my life, so I wouldn't know how to react. Bees, I'm more used to being around, and yeah, so I choose the bees. Now, thank you for asking that question, Becca. Yeah, Wednesday, I had an audition for the school play, and the audition went monologue, song, and cold read. And my monologue involved me being afraid of a swarm of killer bees. So, I think I might do that for you guys. Okay? I'm stupid. I'm so damn stupid. Let me explain. 15 years ago, I was watching this flick called The Swarm. The Swarm is this movie about an Africanized killer bees that invade the US and kill everything in its path. The movie itself wasn't so scary. It was the news report I watched later that day. The news reporter starts by saying, "Killer bees are real." And then he goes on to say about how we shouldn't worry, because it will take at least 20 years for them to get to California. That news story prompted me to make my first big life decision. I will not, under any circumstances, be living in California in the 2000s. Well, 15 years later, college time comes around and I want to go to the University of California. I want to go to the beach, soak up some sun, flirt with some chicks. Obviously, I forgot about the bees. My parents had tried in vain to not letting me move from Boston to California. Wait, you've got no money. You don't know anyone out there. All they had to do was, what about the bees, and I would have stayed. Even though they tried, I don't think that was good enough. Last weekend I called them up, demanding that they give their only son a way to protect himself. They said that if I encounter a swarm, I should coat myself in honey and throw a brick at their hive. They said it works for bears too. Well, that's it for this Ask Whisper. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or you want a shout out, both of which I'll be willing to answer or grant. If you enjoy this video, liking and favoring it would be awesome, and also subscribe above, because it'll help more than you know. About the questions, guys, I am going to try to get back into the flow of these things. It was just that Thanksgiving and family was visiting, and I really didn't feel like I should take away time from them and make a video because I hardly see my family, and because my stepbrother's uncle came down from Pennsylvania to spend time with us, and I hardly get to see him, so I thought that it would be kind of rude to just go away and make a video. But I am going to try to get back in the flow with these things. I don't know if I'm going to do one on Christmas weekend, though, because Christmas is on a Sunday this year, for those of you guys who didn't know. I guess I'll do it at like a family member's house or something. You know, that could actually be interesting. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll see you guys later.